Want to master MikroTik VLANs? In the next few minutes, you'll build a complete VLAN network with access ports, trunk and inter-VLAN communication, all from scratch. Hey everyone, welcome to the tutorial. In this series, we're going to build a complete MikroTik VLAN lab using VMware Workstation and Winbox. All MikroTik configurations will be completed through the Winbox graphical interface. We won't use the terminal at any point. In this first part, we'll quickly cover the most important VLAN concepts and then we'll prepare the VMware networks, configure the SW1 interfaces, create the bridge and set up a separate management connection. Section 2. Introducing the topology. In this lab, R1 is our main router and switch 1 will work at a layer 2 switch. R1 and switch 1 are connected through a trunk link. The other interfaces on switch 1 will be assigned to the user VLANs. We'll also create a separate interface called MGMT for managing switch 1. This interface will stay outside the bridge. That gives us a backup connection, so even if we make a mistake while configuring the VLANs, we should still be able to access switch 1. Section 3. Essential VLAN concepts. A VLAN allows us to divide one physical switch into multiple separate logical networks. For example, devices in VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 can be connected to the same switch, but they still operate in separate networks. An access port normally concepts to an end device, such as a computer, and belongs to one VLAN. A trunk port is normally used between network devices and carries multiple VLANs over the same connection. Traffic moving across the trunk link is usually tagged. That means the frame includes a VLAN ID. Traffic sent by normal end devices is usually untagged. The switch uses the PVID to decide which VLANs should be assigned to untagged traffic entering a port. We'll configure the PVID tagged ports and untagged ports in part 2. Section 4. VLANs and IP networks used in this lab. We'll use 4 VLANs in this lab. VLAN 10 is for the admin network. VLAN 20 is for regular users. VLAN 30 is for guest devices. And VLAN 99 is our network management VLAN. Until VLAN 99 is fully configured and tested, we'll use the temporary 192.168.56.0/24 network to manage switch 1. The temporary management address on switch 1 will be 192.168.56.3. Section 5. Creating the VMware networks. Inside VMware Workstation, open the virtual network editor. We'll use VMnet1 for the separate switch 1 management connection. Set this network to host only and use 192.168.56.0 as the subnet. Keep the host virtual adapter enabled, but disable VMware's DHCP service. VMnet2 will be used for the trunk connection between R1 and switch 1. VMnet3, VMnet4 and VMnet5 will connect our VLAN 10, VLAN 20 and VLAN 30 clients to the switch 1 access ports. For VMnet2 through VMnet5, disable both the host virtual adapter and VMware DHCP. At this stage, VMnet3 through VMnet5 are not actual VLANs. They simply separate virtual network paths connected to different access ports on switch 1. Section 6. Connecting the switch 1 network adapters. Switch 1 needs 5 network adapters. The first adapter connects to VMnet1 and will be used for management. The second adapter connects to VMnet2 and will become the trunk link to R1. The third, fourth, and fifth adapters connect to VMnet3, VMnet4, and VMnet5. These adapters will later becomes the access port for VLANs 10, 20, and 30. Make sure connected and connect add power on are enabled for every adapter. Section 7. Connecting the R1 network adapters. R1 needs two networks adapters. The first adapter connects to VMnet 8 or VMware NAT. We'll use that interface for internet access in part 4. The second adapter connects to VMnet 2 and form the trunk link between R1 and switch 1. We won't configure anything on R1 in this video. Section 8. Connecting to switch 1 for the first. Now power on switch 1 and open Winbox. Since switch 1 doesn't have an IP address yet, go to the Neighbors tab and connect using its MAC address. Once the management IP is configured, we'll switch to an IP-based Winbox connection. Section 9. Renaming the interfaces. To make the configure easier to follow, let's rename the interfaces based on their purpose. Either one becomes MGMT, either two becomes trunk-R1. The remaining three interfaces become the access ports for VLANs 10, 20, and 30. Clear interface names will help prevent mistakes when we start configuring the VLANs in part 2. Section 10. Creating the bridge. Now we'll create a bridge called VRLAN. Leave the protocol mode set to RSTP. Make sure VLAN filtering is still disabled. If VLAN filtering is enabled before the VLAN table is ready, we may lose access to the device. Section 11. Adding the interfaces to the bridge. Inside the ports tab, add the trunk interface and all three access interfaces to VRLAN. Do not add the MGMT interface to the bridge. We want that interface to stay completely separate as our backup management connection. We'll configure the PVID values for these bridge ports in part 2. Section 12. Configuring the management IP address. Now assign the management IP address directly to the MGMT interface. Enter 192.168.56.3/24. Then select MGMT as the interface. Don't assign this address to VRLAN. We want the management connection to remain independent from the bridge and VLAN configuration. Section 13. Testing the IP connection. Close the current Mac-based Winbox session. This time connect to switch 1 using the IP address 192.168.56.3. If Winbox opens successfully, the VMware management network and the switch 1 management address are both working correctly. Section 14. Finally check. Before we finish, let's quickly check the setup. The MGMT interface must be outside the bridge. The management IP must be assigned directly to MGMT. And VLAN filtering must still be disabled. If your setup matches this checklist, switch 1 is ready for the VLAN configuration. In this video, we covered the main VLAN concepts, created the VMware networks, connected the R1 and switch 1 adapters, and prepared a bridge and a separate management connection on switch 1. In part 2, we'll continue from exactly this point. We'll configure the PVID for each access port, build the bridge VLAN table, define the tagged and untagged interfaces, and safely enable VLAN filtering.